we feel good about where we are, but, you know, I don't underestimate how he plays.
Let's welcome in now Georgia Congressman Doug Collins, a member of the House Judiciary Committee. He's also running for Senate against 19 other people in that wild special Senate election, which we will talk about in just a few moments. Congressman, great to see you as always.
Good to see you as well, John.
All right, so President Trump and Joe Biden are tied in Georgia right now, according to some of the polls, but there is a new poll from Landmark and WSB TV that shows President Trump with about a 5-point lead there. Will Joe Biden's visit make any kind of difference whatsoever in the polls?
No, Donald Trump's going to win Georgia. What it will make a difference is allow Joe Biden to see the results of his policies during his administration with President Obama. He's going into the 3rd District of Georgia, has a great Congressman, Drew Ferguson, down there. But they're going to be able to highlight the tragedy of liberal policies like NAFTA going back to his Senate days. We're going to be talking about textile mills that closed, businesses shut down. Then we're going to get into the Dodd-Frank issues that affected small-town businesses. If he's going to come down to Warm Springs and places like that, then he needs to see the reality of what their failed policies did, and people don't want to go back to those failed policies.
Yeah, and there's plenty of places they can go around the country to see those failed policies. But I want to add some polling context to what's actually happening in the state of Georgia as it relates to the presidential election and these two crucial Senate races. You know, we're not supposed to have 2 Senate races at one time. You're supposed to have one, but this is not normal. Nothing is in 2020. But let's take a look here. First, this is the other race here. Republican Senator David Perdue is up slightly on Jon Ossoff. But here's as it relates to your race right here, that multi-candidate race, 20 people running for that special election. Kelly Loeffler now currently holds that seat. She was appointed there. But here's the latest polling from the University of Georgia. You are leading Kelly Loeffler and, well, you're leading Kelly Loeffler, but Ralph Warnock, the pastor from Ebenezer Baptist Church, he is beating both of you guys. And it looks like, you know, the vote is being split. The Republican vote in this race is being split amongst you and Kelly Loeffler. There's also this other poll that's out recently from WSB and Landmark, the one I cited about the president. And you're actually winning, beating Collins, I'm sorry, you're beating Loeffler by 3 points there and much closer to Ralph Warnock. So this is what's really happening here, isn't it? She's taking votes away from you.
Exactly. I mean, look, this is what we're having to do in Georgia is they decided, the governor decided he wanted to do the primary in actually the November election. And so there's this confusion. There's nothing really abnormal going on here, except that what we're going to have is a Republican primary, which we're going to win. Raphael Warnock's going to win the other, basically the Democratic part of this primary. And then I believe it'll be me and him starting on November 4th all the way to January 5th. This is simply the election here that understand, the people understand who the tested, proven conservative is. The polls are starting to show that. Even after almost $40 million being spent by appointed senator, by Senator Loeffler, she's not been able to connect and she's not been able to prove that she is a conservative because of her past. We've been able to show who we are, and that's what's making a difference.
By every metric, she should be winning this race hands down. She's had, as you mentioned, $40 million of help from her family, her husband. She's also had a lot of support from the Senate Republican Leadership Council. They come out, you know, and supported her. They said terrible things about you. The Club for Growth also threw in a couple $1 million against you here. And here you are beating her in this race. You think the governor would have thought this through, realizing the way the demographics are changing in Georgia, knowing that this was going to be a hotly contested race, that he would have, you know, picked somebody who would actually won at least one race in their political career, knowing that this was going to be a very difficult one.
No, I agree, but he also could have listened to the president as well. I was the president's preferred pick in this last year, if you remember when this was going on. But the governor chose a different way, and that's what we're going to have settled here come next Tuesday. But this is also a time for experience, too. Someone who's actually taken on the issues that President Trump had for our whole state, such as the First Step Act, which I wrote criminal justice for, working across the aisles, making sure that the people of Georgia know that they have someone who has been fighting for them. And yes, we have won races in Georgia. Yes, we've been all over the state. We're right now in the middle of 17 days, 4,000 miles over this, seeing everybody as we go forward, finishing out this race strong because they know that we have their best interests at heart.
I think what this really comes down to, Congressman, why this is just so kind of offensive for a lot of people, because there is no metric by which you can measure your record against Kelly Loeffler's where you're not more conservative. You have been in this game a lot longer than her. I'm talking about conservatism when it comes to the record here. And the only reason why she is even here in this position is because of money.
I mean, Kelly Loeffler and her husband are wonderful business people. They had a great career in business, and I just don't believe, though, that at this point it translates over into actually being able to talk about the political issues that we have right now, the very battle and soul for the America that's going on in Washington, D.C. that I have lived every day for the last few years, fighting back against this leftist push to take over government. And we saw that for the last 2 years with the sham impeachment, with all the investigations. And Georgians know this. They know that we were the ones that fight. They know that we're going to fight for them because they don't want to see Georgia go backwards anymore. They need a proven fighter who is us. And it doesn't matter, how much money you put toward that. They're not going to be persuaded by somebody who doesn't have that record, a proven record like I do.
Money and identity politics, I guess. This is we could accuse the governor of trying to be a little too cute, thinking about suburban women instead of thinking about actual records here. But I know the voters of Georgia will probably see right through that, as you indicated here. So let's talk about, your vote would be the same as Kelly Loeffler's when it comes to Judge Amy Coney Barrett. We all know that. And what is it like for you, Congressman, to see the Democrats kind of put up this kabuki theater fight last night, but just to know that at the end of the day today, that we're going to have a new conservative justice, sworn on to the high court?
Well, number one, I'm excited to have her on the court. It's going to be great to see her and that in her legal mind bringing that presence to the court. But thank you, John. This is as they always say, deja vu all over again with the Democrats. We saw it during impeachment. We saw it during investigation. We knew where the end result was going to be. They just didn't want to deal with it, and that's exactly what they're doing here. They're doing a stage show to let people know that they're upset about this. Well, the real part is the American people, as they've gotten to know this, as they've gotten to know her, have began to like her. They see that she has a sharp mind. They see that she is a strong family presence. She sees that she has strong beliefs, and that's what they want to see, someone who interprets the Constitution by the Constitution. And it's just gotten to be ridiculous with what the Democrats have been putting up against her. But that's what we expect from them. That's what we've seen from them. They want a different direction for the country, and in a little over a week, we're going to show them that that's not what the direction the people want.
I mean, sometimes I just have to take a step back because it's so ridiculous. You think about the fact that they refuse to show up, many of them, to even ask her questions in person, but then they're going to turn around and show up in the middle of the night for this fake filibuster. I don't know, Congressman. I hats off to you and everybody else who runs, but it's hard to imagine wanting to be part of that type of body when that's the kind of chicanery they're going to try to employ. Because, one day they're complaining about crises at the post office, crises because people are losing their jobs, and then this is the thing that they determine is important enough to show up for. They have no power to stop it, but they're willing to spend the entire Sunday night into Monday morning in a fake filibuster. I just don't understand.
No, look, but it's become commonplace. When you have nothing to run on, when you're bankrupt of ideas, or better yet, your ideas aren't assumed by American people, this is what you do. So, but I will say this. I'm glad that I'm running for this seat. I'm glad that we're going to keep this seat red here in Georgia, because if we back up, if conservatives continue to back out of the public sphere and just get tired of what's going on in the trickery and all the just, showmanship of the Democrats, then we as Americans will lose. We need more Republicans. We need more conservatives to step up, take the fight back to them, because I believe that conservatives have the best ideas. I believe that conservatives believe in people. It's not that government should be the effective part. It should be that people should be allowed to be what God intended them to be. And that's why we can't back away from the marketplace.
Well, I was talking to a friend of mine in Georgia. They were complaining about all the direct mail voting they're getting, or direct mail they're getting for this election cycle. And I say, blame your governor, because you're going to have a runoff election because he bet on the wrong horse, as it were. Doug Collins, great to see you as always. We'll check in with you soon. Thanks so much.
Thanks, John. Take care. Have a great day.
Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.